Good morning and welcome to another SaTAROTday. It's been a while. Things have been crazy, but I'm very excited to be back and we will do a very fun reading today. Maybe not fun, interesting, whatever. Let's get started. All right, so today I'm actually using a different tarot, or I should say oracle, because this is an oracle deck I don't think I've used on any stream before. And it is called Threads of Fate Oracle. It is the Shadow Edition. I have quite a few different editions of this tarot, and I'm a big fan of it. It's got kind of a minimalist color scheme and design, but at the same time, not minimalist at all. You'll see what I mean when I start pulling a couple cards, but I know this morning, after the last couple of days, weeks, whatever, of things in the world, I should say, I really wanted to pull some cards kind of separate from everything else and just see again what has the universe been saying and what kind of messages do we need to see to kind of give us some forward motion. So really excited about pulling some of these cards today. Again, this is Threads of Fate. There's a couple of different additions to this particular deck. Just very interesting, very different. The card stock on this deck is freaking amazing. It's super thick. It's got a cardboardy flavor to it. I do feel like, if you accidentally bent it just a little bit, it might actually rip. But the color scheme is beautiful, and I really enjoy that. But anyway, to keep things short, let's go ahead and get started and see what the Threads of Fate are going to show us today. We're going to do our normal 3-card pull. My hair's a mess. So our normal 3-card pull. And first we have the universe. Amazing first card there. Second, we have the void. Third, destruction. So I find this quite interesting because these are very, very different concepts. And for them to come up all in one space, it's going to be very important. Now, last night on Malice Experience, I pulled some cards from the Tinkerer's Damn Tarot, which was pretty cool. And it was all about learning and not just opening your mind, but allowing yourself to be open to things that you may not otherwise do and to be able to insert yourself into situations that you may not necessarily even have considered before. But most of it is of being an open nature and allowing things to have perspective and to see things and not to prejudge things emotionally. But today we're getting a different message that still kind of follows along with that, but it's not about the education right now. We're talking about the universe. When the universe shows up in a reading, it really takes on this idea of everything that is around you, paying attention to signs, paying attention to coincidences that I don't believe in, right? So things that manifest in your life that have different perspectives or different things. Thank you, Iris, for the wake-up call. So, for example, I was paying attention to the hotel room I was in this week, and oddly, there was a pattern in the shower wall, like the side of the shower. It wasn't steam or it wasn't something that somebody had written in, just a pattern that resembled 103. So that's going to have me thinking universe has a message for me, 103, 10-3, 1-3, 4, because 1 plus 0 plus 3 is 4. So these are things that I'm going to open my mind to and pay attention to because the universe is speaking. And so when the universe shows up in an oracle or maybe the world in the tarot and the major arcana, my thought and my brain and my body and my spirit is going to go to pay attention to what the universe is saying right now because it's got a message for you. And a lot of times the universe shows up when we tend to miss the message that it's been trying to tell us, right? And so maybe I'm seeing things and seeing these synchronicities, but I'm not paying attention to them or not reading them or not catching them. Last week on the Sunday service, we noticed something sparkling out of a piece of wood the entire time. And that wood came from our yard where Ian had ripped down the tree, the oak tree. Beautiful oak tree. I'm very sad that it is gone, but that wood has been repurposed. And that, got me to thinking there's a sparkle left in everything that falls, right? And so it helped me manage some emotional processes. So I think that's what the universe is telling us to do. The second card, being where we currently are maybe, is the void, right? So the void in this position is very personal and specific to, I think, something I'm going through, which is I'm in a little bit of a lost direction. And I think right now there is a void. There's a void around us. And that is not to say that things are missing or something's wrong or it's bad. It's just that there is an emptiness or an open space that doesn't need to be filled around us. And we just have to await. You need space. Most of our bodies are space. What you see of us is a very tiny fraction of the atoms. Most of the atoms are space, right? So the void is really talking to us about knowing that the space is there, knowing that the space is needed, not needing to fill in the space, but just getting through at the moment where we're allowing things to exist. It also may represent the need for some rest time or some pause time. So listening to the universe's messages where we may feel a little bit of things out of whack or out of synchronous, I don't want to say synchronicity, but out of, they're not matching up. The time is not right where it should be. You're missing something out. The void says, I am here. I'm not going anywhere. There is an emptiness, but emptiness is okay. Space is okay. It's actually required. Very important. And then our final card, destruction, is very similar to maybe our tower. When you think of destruction, also death, right? When we talk about how those cards both represent some type of transformation, death is usually more focused on the ending of something and the beginning of a new era, whereas the tower is all about the actual whole underpinnings and the ideas and the behaviors and the thoughts that make you or a situation occur is going to crumble and need to be rebuilt. So the tower is more of an all-encompassing here. In destruction, it is more like the death part of that. It's something is ending and something is coming up, but it's more of an active process, right? In the Oracle deck here, instead of just thinking of, something is going to end or something may come to new fruition, this is basically saying the universe is telling you that the void is all around, but don't be sad or upset about the void. The void has to exist in order for us to exist. And it's going to lead us on a path of destroying something that no longer serves us so that we can rebuild it into newness. But it is an active case. It is actively destroying that thing or that energy and tearing it down so that a better thing can be rebuilt. Make no mistake, death is not a passive thing when we talk of the traditional tarot. But it is, in this oracle, destruction, it is a much more active force that we're talking about here as far as our energy that's around us. So I think the takeaway for me, or the, how should I say it, the summary, as I said, is the universe is giving us a message we're having difficulty seeing. And it's telling us to lead ourselves through the void or through the space in a positive manner, in a forward, active manner of destroying what is no longer serving us, so that the rebuilding can come later. But just accept the void as a space and not as a negative thing in your life. Hopefully that makes sense to you. It certainly rings true to some things that I'm personally going through. And I think this is a very, very important message. I'm going to repeat it again a couple of times because I think there's something so important in this that we often feel of, or when you think of the void, we immediately think of the negative, the nothingness, the emptiness. But when we realize there's so much around us that is space, that is openness, that is a void of what we think of as void, empty. We are all void. We are all part of that. That is something that is also appropriate, necessary, required for the non-void or the unvoid to exist, right? Interesting though, scientific studies are showing that empty space is no longer actually empty. There's something there, which is pretty cool. And then again, actively destroying and seeking out that thing that doesn't serve you and be like, okay, what's not serving me? You, okay, I'm breaking you down right now. Let's take you apart. Let's dismantle the wood. Let's throw it away. And we're going to use that to rebuild something else. So again, hope this message gives you some guidance for the next, I would say week, but way longer than that. This is going to be a good message for quite a while. So hope you enjoyed that. If you have any comments or anything that you would read differently or anything that you'd like to see, please make sure to comment. That's the most important thing to me. I love reading comments and responding. If you like this and want to see more, make sure you like it. And if you want to see this and our other videos, please make sure to subscribe.